Let me tell you a story. I was sitting in Bible college class. It's one of those times I just kind of zoned out. You know, you're sitting in class and, well, kind of like you do while I preach. You know, you just kind of just zone out into la-la land. You know, because I'm sitting in Bible college for like 5 hours a day. Our service is only an hour. You need to stay focused, okay? Or not, actually it's more than an hour, okay? But an hour and a half, sorry. But anyway, you know, you got to stay focused. But here I am in Bible college for 5 hours. I'm working half the night and everything. And they give out these little announcement sheets, right? And it's like the week's announcements. And you want to know what Bible college I was? I was at Hyles-Anderson College in Hammond, in Crown Point, Indiana, First Baptist Church of Hammond. I always name the names in every sermon. Whenever I preach against anybody or tell the truth about anybody, I always name the names. Always, always, always. Because God always names the names. Hymenaeus, Alexander, Philetus, Hermogenes, Diotrephes. These are bad preachers that we know about because Paul was just dropping names. Sometimes it's just like, why are you dropping more names, Paul? He's always just dropping names. Oh, by the way, watch out for Alexander. Watch out for Hymenaeus. Watch out for Philetus. Oh, watch out for Hermogenes. They're heretics. They're teaching false doctrine. Sitting at Hyles-Anderson College, and they give out this little announcement sheet. And I picked up the announcement sheet and just blah, 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 you know, stick it in my Bible and go on with my day. Well, for some reason, it was strange, but actually I threw away the announcement sheet, is what really happened now that I think about it. I'm trying to remember the exact story. Threw away the announcement sheet, but then I came and sat down in this next class where I was kind of zoning out. It was church education class, and I was kind of zoned out for whatever reason. And so I just looked down, and there was the announcement sheet again. I'd already read it, and I'd never read it a second time before. But I picked it up, and I was like, started reading it again for some reason. And my eyes fell on the bottom of the page, and it said, there will be, and I've never told this story before in this church, so if you've been here like Amanda has from the second week that we've been in existence, you know, don't worry, this isn't a repeat. And so, I don't do a lot of repeats, do I? So I'm reading the bottom of the page, and it says, there will be a mandatory meeting for all engaged girls. And it's going to be on such and such a day at such and such a time. For all engaged girls who are getting married between the dates of this and this, you must be at this meeting. Right? And I read that, and I was just looking at it. I was thinking, I wonder what that's about. You know? That's kind of weird. And it said it was going to be with Dr. Streeter. And this man's name is Dr. Dennis Streeter. D-E-N-N-I-S-S-T-R-E-E-T-R. And Dennis Streeter's going to be there, and I looked at it, and I was just staring at it and just thinking, like, I wonder what that's about, huh? I had no clue what it was about. And I looked up from the page, and the preacher, and like I said, I totally zoned out. I didn't even know what he was talking about. To this day, I don't know what he was talking about. And he said, there's wickedness that goes on at this college. You know, you ought to do something about it. Like, he was talking about something completely different. I don't even know what he was saying. He was probably talking about people stealing in the dorms or some stupid thing. I don't know what he was talking about. But I was like, whoa, God is speaking to me right now. You know, God's trying to show me something here. And so I went home, and it just bothered me. You know, what is this about? What are they trying to keep a secret about? You know, what is this? Well, I don't know what's going on. So I told my lovely wife, mother of 3 at that time, now she's mother of 4, I said, you're going to that meeting. Right? I said, you're going to go to that meeting, and I'm going to send you in there, and you're going to have to take a tape recorder into that meeting. Because I think I know what's going on in that meeting. I think I know what's going on. Because I'd been around this guy, Dr. Streeter, right? And I didn't know anything about him, but I got a really weird vibe from him. I thought he was a really bad guy. And I didn't know, you ever get around somebody and it just seems like they're evil? And I didn't know why. And so I said, you're going in there, and I'm sending you in there with a tape recorder. And so I wired her up with a tape recorder. Yes, I do still have the tape. I wired her up with a tape recorder. I drew her a little map, because it's a big college campus, and she'd never even hardly been on the campus. I drew her a little map. I said, you have to get there right when it starts, because if you get there early, they're going to question you, like, why are you here? You know, because you're married, you have 3 kids. Although a lot of people don't know each other because it's a big college, right? So I wrote out a little map, you know, go up the stairs, turn left, turn right, last door on the left. Give her the map. She's wired up, right? So anyway, she goes in there. If you know my wife, it's even funnier, you know. She goes in there. We timed it just right. I pull up to the front entrance of the college. I let her out the door. she walks into there. She signs in as a visitor, gets a badge, visitor badge, takes off the visitor badge, crumples it up. Walks up the stairs, takes a left, around the corner, last door on the left. Walks in, crowd of about, 70 girls, 70 single girls. She waltzes in there, sits down in the back nonchalantly. Somebody looked at her like, what are you supposed to be here? Nobody really said anything about it. And then here he comes, Dr. Streeter, right? He walks in. There were window shades on the windows. There were curtains, black sheets over the windows. Am I telling the truth? Black blankets over the windows covered them up. The doors were shut. Nobody's in this meeting except Dr. Streeter and these bunch of young girls. Now, I was asking myself, part of the reason why I sent her there, I was like, I don't even know if the college administration knows what's going on in this meeting, because it's just this doctor and all these. I don't know what it's about. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. And so she went in there. She got the tape recorder on. She sets it on the desk, covers it up with something, and he began to teach. He began to teach the most filthy things you can imagine. And I have it on tape. And he started out with a slideshow, and I'm not going to be graphic. I always try to protect your young children and my own. He started out with a slideshow. The first slide, just for shock value, he flipped on the first slide. It was a picture of a nude woman and a close-up of a nude woman's anatomy. Not a drawing, a picture. Okay? He's a man. You think that's right, though, don't you? Because he's got doctor in front of his name. He's immune. He's not a normal human being. He's a God man. He's a God man, right? He's a God man. He would never lust or think. But he's got this dirty picture, and people are like, whoa, my wife is blushing. She's married with 3 kids. She's like, whoa. And he said, oh, don't worry, these are a little sensitive. And he began to teach sex education in the filthiest terms. And I have it on tape. It's disgusting. It's creepy, weird. Then, and that's not even what I'm talking about. That's bad enough, right? Then he begins to hand out, and this is in a Bible college, independent, fundamental Baptist, whole name, trading online, King James, He hands out a paperwork describing birth control methods on the paperwork, okay? And he has a list on there of all the different birth control methods. And, my wife had all the handouts. She had the tape. And he goes through this list, and I'm not even going to say everything that he said just for sake of decency. I can't even repeat it in mixed company, some of the things that he said, and some of the things that he wanted to do, and they told them that they needed to do. But he began to explain to them how pregnancy begins at implantation 7 to 14 days after what we call conception. He began to say that, and I have this on tape, come to me, get the tape. It's on eBay, $2.99, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, he talked about how the egg travels down, and it's fertilized up here. It travels down, and then 7 to 14 days later it implants, and that's where pregnancy begins, is what he taught in this class. And so he basically said, I have up here, at the front of the classroom, 60 packages of a 3-month supply of birth control pills, okay? Birth control pills that are hormonal based, they're estrogen, and the other hormone is progesterone. Okay, progesterone and estrogen birth control pills, and he said they're up here and they're free. The first 3 months. Hey, the first one's always free from a dope dealer. And 3 months supplies, 60 of them. I hope it's enough for everybody that's in here. And he gave it out for free to them. Okay. Then he told them, and I have this on tape, he told them that they needed to go be examined by him before their wedding night. You know where. And that he needed to check it out and make sure everything was going to be fine because they'd hate to have any hang-ups on their wedding night. And I have him on tape saying it. It's on tape. Yes, I do. His name's Dennis Streeter. And so that's what he said. He lied. He talked about a medical condition that does not exist, why they would need to come down there. I did the research on it. I Googled it. I studied it. It doesn't exist. It was made up. The words were not even real words. And he handed out these birth control pills. Now, let me explain to you how birth control pills work. And you tell me what you think about this. Or, you know what, just go ahead and turn me off. Go ahead and turn me off right now if you don't like the truth. Go ahead and turn me off. But I'm going to tell you the truth. This is how birth control pills work. They work by 2 mechanisms. Did you know that birth control pills are 99.9% effective? 99.9% effective. And you know what? That's if they're taken properly, if you don't miss any days with them. 99.9% effective. This is why they're 99% effective, because they have 2 different mechanisms by which they operate. Mechanism number 1, They trick a woman's body. This is where the estrogen comes in. They trick a woman's body into thinking that she's already pregnant, and so she does not release an egg. Now, is there any murder involved with that? No. I mean, she doesn't release an egg, right? So she doesn't get pregnant. Big deal. But they have a backup mechanism, because even when taking the combination pill, 10% of the time, she's going to ovulate anyway, because your body's a little smarter than that to trick it that thoroughly. And so what happens is they have a backup mechanism because they want to be 99.9% accurate. And so the backup mechanism is that they, and I'm going to quote the package insert of the birth control pills that I've had in my hand, and I read that, the fine print that's like 50 pages long in medical inserts. The medical insert said that it creates a hostile environment in the uterus so that the developing fetus is not able to implant. Did you hear that? So here's what it does. Mechanism number one, it stops a woman from releasing an egg. Backup mechanism, mechanism number two, means that it allows an egg that's already been fertilized 7 to 14 days ago, it's already developing and multiplying and growing. When it reaches the uterus, it finds a hostile environment, because the package insert says that it basically destroys the lining of a woman's uterus. It hardens it to where when that child, according to the Bible, goes to implant, it cannot implant, it dies, and it flushes out, and a woman doesn't even know it, because it happens within 7 to 14 days. Never even would know that it happened. And they have their cycle as usual, because it's dead. And they never even knew they were pregnant, and they just had a baby die in their womb, and they didn't know it at 7 to 14 days.